Hello, it's Paul here at I Was Hungry Garden Ministry, and this video is to Nathan Hodges and the community group that's going to be coming later this month. No, yeah, this month. I think June 26th is what's on the email. And so Mark asked me a couple questions, so I wanted to just do a little video and just to explain to him what to expect. And there are other community groups at Fellowship that'll probably be interested in coming at some point. We have a lot of kids come to the garden, and but I'll just show you around a bit. This is the squash patch here, and lots of yummy squashes coming out of here very soon. And there's a baby one here, right there. See? Oh, and there's another baby one. Yeah. Hey, how about that? And then over here, we have flowers. And so a lot of widows like to get flowers. And so this is a big red sunflower. See, it's going to have a flower there. And then these are zinnias. And yeah, so what to expect at the garden. Okay, so the garden's a very interesting place. So when God created man, he put him in the Garden of Eden, of course. And we know that from, just our Bible studies. And but there's a lot of subtleties in that. God put man in the garden, and he created man to have a relationship with him, and he put him in the garden to further that relationship with him, because that's where he was going to commune with man and have this relationship. And so what I would expect when you come to the garden group is to expect transformation, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And so spiritually, because when you're in the garden, you're watching God do all these miracles. These seeds get planted, and then little by little they grow into these huge plants that produce tons of fruit, and literally tons of fruit. I mean, we have a field out there I expect to get 5,000 pounds of food from. And then, so spiritually, there's just this witnessing the miracles of God. And then physically, you see, you eat the food, and it's extremely healthy because it's not sterilized like the food you get in the supermarket. So it helps if you're bringing kids to not go to the drive-thru just before you come, because the food in the garden is not going to be amped up with salt and all sorts of spices and, MSG. It's not going to have all the flavor enhancers that you're going to get when you drive through somewhere. And so, if the fruit and vegetable you get in the supermarket is usually not ripe and usually doesn't taste very good. But the food you get from a garden usually tastes totally different. So, that it's important to, with the kids to help them understand that just the health aspects of it. And so, I mean, I've lost 80 pounds, over 80 pounds since I've been eating the food from the garden. It's just totally transformed my health, which of course helps me to be a lot more athletic and being able to pick and so forth. And then emotionally, I think you just feel a peace. I mean, people come to the garden and there's a peacefulness about it that is just amazing. And so I would sort of lean into that a bit. And there's a lot. Bring gloves, bring hats, bring water. I have a lot of tools here. But I think, one of the main things is expect to be educated, in a lot of areas. One of the main things that we're blessed with here is this wonderful equipment. Here's a tractor that I use in the garden, and I have two tractors, a little one and a big one. And so that, it's important to talk about that and maybe let the kids sit on that. And if any of the dads want to drive it around, they can, or the moms. And then we have a lot of other equipment. We've got little tillers, big tillers, teeny tillers, electric hose, and post hole diggers, and weed whackers, and mowers. And, there's a lot of just engineering that goes into the garden. And then there's a lot of science and botany. There's a lot of compost going on in the very back there. And there's a lot of botany as far as the seeds and how to get things to be fertile and things like that. So, expect to be expect to be, educated, in the science and the mechanics and the botany. And then I think another thing too is the garden is it's a tough place. It was cursed. It started out really good. And that word garden in the Bible actually means orchard. And so we grow a lot of fruit here. So you'll see a lot of fruit trees and fruit. And but when the garden was cursed, God said, with painful toil, you will bring forth food from the earth. And there are a lot of challenges in the garden. It's hot. There are chiggers, there are mosquitoes, there are ticks, there are snakes. We don't see a lot of snakes, and you probably won't get a tick on you. And you don't need to, nuke yourself with bug spray and DEET and all that before you come. And but it doesn't hurt to just, like, I'll show you what I'm wearing here. I have my trousers tucked into my socks because the chiggers have been really bad the last few days. But in the next few days, there'll probably be no problem at all. And then, and we have a resident cat who patrols, and she's not here right now. So expect to see Hermione, the cat. And then these are our 7 lovely layers, and they're really wonderful, and they're in a chicken tractor. And so, there'll be a tour of some of that. But, there are challenges in the garden. It's a tough place, it's work. But, it was a place where families would get together and work together. And I think that really brought about a lot of bonding. So I think, there's that aspect of it. And there's something very spiritually beneficial about just working alongside somebody else, having a deep spiritual talk and pulling weeds. It's something about the weeds pulling. It's a bit like repentance. And you just feel really good when you go through and pull a bunch of weeds together and have a deep and meaningful talk. So, I would expect some of that. And, but yeah, if you have any questions, please send me a message. And we look forward to having young and old alike come and visit the garden. We're growing this food for the sick and the poor. So I'll explain that when you come. There are a lot of people that have to be on a nutrient-dense diet per order of their doctors because they have cancer or some other dreadful disease. And so it really helps to be on a nutrient-dense diet. Now, you might ask the question, well, why aren't we on a nutrient-dense diet all the time? Well, I'll talk to you about that. I'd love to. And then we have a lot of widows in senior living facilities that love to get flowers. So we've greatly ramped up our flower ministry. And so I'll explain that to you and show you flowers, and we'll probably be picking fruits and flowers. So look forward to seeing everyone. And thank you for your love for the poor and for expressing interest in I Was Hungry Ministries. And we'll look forward to seeing you down on the farm. And I'll be happy to give out address and directions and all that on a text message. So we'll see you soon. Thank you.